Hello, my name is Jody Fuller. This is the Fuller Five. The Fuller Five. This is the first one. So if you're watching this, there's a good chance you know me. You may be my family. You may be my mama, but because it's probably not going to be a lot of first people watching this. But I'm going to try to do this, and people sit down having these long talks. I'm going to try to do 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'm going to try to do these routinely, regularly. 5 minutes, but I stutter, so if it's like 6 minutes, don't hold that against me. But it's gonna be a good time. Remember, I'm from Alabama. Remember, there's another guy from Alabama named Forrest Gump. He said, "Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." Well, this is kind of the same thing. You never know what you're gonna get. 5 minutes, I'm just going to talk whatever's on my mind. It might be funny. It might be interesting. It might be like, hey, who knew? It might be crazy. It might be something about my faith. It might be something about the Army. It might be something about life. Maybe something about my daughter. It could be about anything. Today, my first one. So you see behind me, I got my little I love me wall of my comedy stuff. I got stuff with like my dry bar special. You can watch that. I got I got a church fish fry. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I work for fish. Good stuff. Got James Gregory passed away. May he rest in peace. Worked with him several times. And I got my brothers, the GIs of comedy. We're all veterans, and we performed all over the world together. They're awesome guys. GIs of comedy. Anyway, I got this stuff. I'm just so cool. This is my I love me wall. But I'm not, really all about I love me wall for comedy, because I also have an I love me wall for my Army stuff in there, because I'm an Army guy, all right? And then I got I love me wall for my daughter, because it's really I love my daughter wall. This is going to be one take. So if I mess up, I mess up, because that is life. It ain't got to be perfect. I just want people to talk. All right, and then I got my other wall. Is my that's my cat. I do not love you. Anybody want a free cat? For free to a good home. But you got to come get him. I'm just kidding. My daughter would kill me. But I love me wall. I got some deer. I got alligator thing. I got the Euro mount. I got some sheep. Some aoudad. Some cool stuff. But you know what I do not have? Is a beaver. I do not have a beaver, and that's what today's story is about. So earlier, I was out filling my deer feeder, and then while I was doing that, I was doing some deer jerky in my air fryer. So all about the deer. I love eating whatever I take. I'm going to eat. Good stuff. But when I was a kid, so 35 years ago, I'm an old man. This is summer of '91. I was coming home from work. I worked at Kroger drugstore. I was coming home from work after high school, between high school and joining the Army. My life was, I didn't know what I was going to do. Didn't know, have a clue at that point. And was coming home. Me and my buddies had moved into this place. It was a bad decision, but bad decisions, sometimes they point you in the right direction. So no complaints about that. But I'm driving home by this pond, and I see a dead beaver. It was a real life, gigantic dead beaver. And I'm like, oh, I want that. I want to get that thing mounted. I don't know why I would have gotten it mounted. I don't know what in the world I was thinking. But I went to our little apartment, our duplex, and I got a hefty trash bag. I went back. I scooped it up. I got like a big stick, and I rolled it. Somehow got it in there, and it was terrible, awful. And I got in there, and I brought it back to the apartment, the duplex. There were some guys out there who were having a good time acting stupid, and people had dissected, just doing crazy things, doing some anatomy, physiology on this thing. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to put it in this cooler here, and then I'm going to get it mounted. I put it in the cooler. This is in July, August, or so of summer, Alabama. It gets really hot. Hot. Super. I did 3 tours in Iraq. It gets hot over there. I think it gets hotter in Alabama in the summer. It's a different kind of heat, as they say. Anyway. I come home from work one day, about 2 weeks later, and I look over there on the side of the yard, and I see that cooler. I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot about that dadgum thing. middle of summer. Hey, kitty cat. And I go over there and I open up. I should have thought about it. And if it had been after I joined the Army, maybe I could have had a gas mask. But I was not expecting what was about to unfold. I opened up that cooler, and when I did, it's like 1,000 atomic bombs of dead beaver water that had been marinating for 2 weeks just blew up in my. I mean, it's making me stutter just thinking about it. I mean, I'm starting to sweat. It just came up and onto my face. It burned my nose hairs. It singed my eyebrows, and it was just terrible. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So I got that thing after I settled down, and I carried it over like this. I carried it over and I put it in the trunk of the 87 Ford Taurus that we had. This is before it got repossessed. Man, I should have left that daggum thing in the trunk before it got repossessed. That would have been a surprise, I do believe. We're over 5 minutes, but again, the goal is to keep it to 5 minutes. This is the first one I had to explain a little bit first. We're going to keep it 5 minutes from here on out. We're going to try. Anyways, I put this thing, dead beaver water, in the trunk. I close the trunk and I'm driving. I'm not going about 2 miles from the duplex. And I'm driving out there, but I'm trying to go slow, but then I start smell a little bit. And I remember this dog comes out, I think, and I might have been hallucinating, but I slammed on my brakes. And when I did, I guess I tipped the daggum thing over because I smelled it again. It was the worst smell you ever smelled in your entire life. And I have smelled some things in my life. That was awful. And I could see it coming in slow motion coming from behind me. It's like this fog. It's coming right at me, about to drive me. It was I was crying. I was tearing up. I mean, it's like I just watched Old Yeller again, or when Van Tiffin kicked that 55-yard field goal against Auburn in 1985, or when Luke and Laura got married or something. Because I don't cry a lot, so I can remember the times that I cry. And I was crying, and this thing was coming at me just slow motion. So I just turned over. I just slammed on my brakes right there, just on the country road, and I put on my brakes, and I jumped out of the car like I had a rattlesnake in that thing. I jumped out that car, and I opened up I was about to say I popped the trunk, but I don't know if you could pop a trunk on an 87 Ford Taurus. I probably had to go back here and use a key, and I used a key, open trunk, and it was just laying there, just staring at me, and it's terrible. I didn't know what to do. So I thought about it, what I'm going to do. And while I'm thinking about it, this guy, stranger, very nice man, pulled up, asked if he could help me. Asked if I needed some help. That's what life's about. Life's about helping other people in their time of need. And this man, he asked me, do I need help? And I said, well, yeah, I got this dead beaver in my trunk, and I can't get it out. He said, I hate when that happens. And he was serious. He wasn't even laughing. And I said, yeah, I can't get it out. And because I remember I was trying to help him, and I reached down, I grabbed the beaver tail, and I was going to grab it and like sling it out. This is like just before he got there. That's one that made it so bad. I grabbed the beaver tail, and I was going to pull it and just kind of sling it out, or sling like I'm hitting a home run. Boom! I was going to boom swing, and I grabbed it, and when I pulled it, the skin came off in my hands. I had dead beaver skin, tail skin in my hands, and I didn't know what to do. I was ready to give up. I was ready to burn the car right there. I was just going to burn. And this guy pulled up. He said, can I help you? And I said, absolutely. Thank you so much. Help people. And he did. And I said, yeah, can you help me with this? And he did. And I appreciate him so much. And I said, can I do anything for you? I said, I'd be happy to help you out. He simply said, well, can I have the cooler? I said, yeah, you got the cooler, man. You got the cooler. So I gave him the cooler. And I got a cat. You want to go put you in the cooler too. This is Thomas. Anyway, yeah. So words of the wise, do not put a dead beaver in a cooler, because consequences have actions. Anyway, maybe one day I'll get a dead beaver on that wall in there. Anyway, listen, that was 10 minutes. I promise you they're going to be less. So subscribe. Talk to y'all later.